officers. At 1 o'clock, I learned today that it was not going to be accepted. So, an opportunity for colleagues to vote on the co-location of staff in libraries will not be put before the Chamber today, and I bitterly regret that. Lord Mayor, this time last year, I drew attention to the fact that I thought that the budget that was being put before the Chamber was full of holes. I also drew attention to the fact that our debt levels were so high and we were borrowing so much money and using up our reserves that we needed to actually sell some of our assets to build up our reserves again. Now, if any colleague doesn't believe this, please email me. I will send you a copy visually of the contribution that I made this time last year. Now, we were promised a decade of prosperity. Well, it took 4 months for the wheels to fall off that promise, didn't it? 4 months for us to be told that we were looking at a bill of £760 million for an equal pay claim. I've done some research, and I find that potentially we have up to 10,000, but that's stretching it very, very far, potential claims. Glasgow, on the other hand, who are going through an equal process, have got an equal pay claim of £770 million. The difference between Birmingham and Glasgow is that they've got 19,000 claimants, and ours is going to be well under 10,000, despite the fact that many have already agreed to settle. Now, looking back at last year's budget, Lord Mayor, there was insufficient accountability for inflation. Pay inflation, contract inflation, and other inflation. So there was a hole in the budget of £93 million purely for inflation. And then we look at, that's one of the problems, that's money going out. What about money coming in? Well, council tax has got a deficit of £4 million. But the real big problem was the business rates. And with the localisation of business rates, as I pointed out when it was being localised as the Liberal Democrat representative on the LGA Finance Committee, there were inevitably going to be many, many claims. And that were going to take a long time, to work its way through. And unfortunately, that has come to pass. People have put in claims against their rateable value, and that is £60 million. Now, Oracle is important, Lord Mayor. Oracle is important because it gives you up-to-date financial information. And unfortunately, it's been a total car crash. We have got to implement the savings this year, and yet we haven't got up-to-date financial information. I had to implement £212 million worth of cuts in financial year 11-12. We did it because we'd got up-to-date financial information. It's with a heavy heart, Lord Mayor, that I stand here. I cannot vote for this budget, but I recognise my responsibility as a corporate member of this council, and I will do everything that I can to help the necessary savings so that we can protect frontline services to all those people that desperately need it and are dependent upon Birmingham City Council for their support. Thank you, Lord Mayor.